Yo guys, welcome into video 4 of Pathway to the Watering Hole. Who is Rob? So to understand who Rob is, you need to understand videos 1, 2, and 2A first. So I highly recommend if you have not watched those, do not skip to this video. Go to those first because you will not understand what a Rob is if you do not understand at least proper market structure. Most of you should know what an order block is, which is video 2, but you need to understand the mitigation side of it as well as market structure. If you don't understand market structure, you'll never be able to pick out the correct ROB. So I highly recommend please go watch those first. But today I'm going to show you exactly what a ROB is, how we can use it to enter the markets or use it as an order flow kind of indicator to show us where price should be drawing to next. So with that said, going to stick to what I normally do. Have a random date generator sitting here, and we're just going to have it pick a random date for us. You guys can see that I'm not hindsighting anything, picking anything out that are as A plus setups, and then leading you down a hole that's not going to lead you to anywhere. So I stand behind all of this, and I think you guys will really enjoy this video. So we're given a date of June 3rd of 2024. So we'll go to 2024. We'll go to June. Oh, I already forget the date. June 3rd. A nice and a Monday. All right. And there we go. All right. Just going to roll right into the session. rOB. Bring this down. There we go. Maybe. We do not need the volume indicator that they like to give us. We don't need volume. We're going to go to our settings. We want to make sure our next day is set up as next day open is 0930 because we're going to look strictly at the New York session here. So 9:30, I want to stick to obviously New York time. And there we go. So we'll go to the next day open. Which takes us to 9:30. So what an order block, what a ROB is a responsible order block. It is going to be the last order block that you see before breaking structure. Hence why you need to go watch video 1 first. If you're cheating, I mean, not much I can do about it, but if you're cheating in watching this first, you need to go understand market structure first because of there's going to be 1 minute 15 there's going to be 1 minute order blocks, 15-minute order blocks. You need to understand where we are on the higher time frame as well as the lower time frame. So it looks like in this case we would be coming into the market. We need to go look at the 15-minute chart. Let's make this full screen here. Try to make it easier for everyone to see. Full screen. We'll blow it up a little bit there. All right, nice clean charts. So market structure. So if we're drawing our structure, right, let's see if we can find the tool. So if we're looking at structure, we see a down move here, right? We have a down move, and then we break structure back to the upside, right? We break structure to the upside. Remember, this is just pre-market, but it's still our structure because we had a break higher from this high to take out this take out this low, and then we get a 1-minute order block to the upside. Again, this is all explained in video 1. So your responsible order block in this case would be, let's where is, oh, it's up here hiding. I knew it was somewhere. Let's add this to the favorite as well because we're gonna need this today as well as trend lines, as well as raise. So all right. So your responsible order block in this case would be what? Would be right here. This is your responsible order block. Why is this your rOB? We're going to refer to rOB because it's a lot easier to say ROB than it is responsible order block. So this is your responsible. Price will draw down to this at some point, so it's a good idea to keep a mark. Kind of treat it like a PD array that's untapped, right? We did not tap back into it as well. So a break above. So this is where we're just following structure, right? We're following structure. We get an order block to the downside again from video 1. We don't get anything here, right? So your new responsible order block is sitting here. responsible order block sitting here. So as we're sitting there, we're just waiting on price. We're not looking to enter anything here. Obviously, this is market open. We'll go to we'll skip ahead by 5 minutes at a time. I also want to pay attention to the 15 because we know 15-minute responsible order blocks can and will distribute price very strongly. So, and then we can look for 1 minute order blocks off of that, but that's coming in a later video, the next video, which is executions off of order blocks and responsible order blocks. So in this case, we need to be aware of our 15-minute structure. Our 15-minute structure is going to look like, let's see here, we got to draw it. So our 15 structure looks like this. It's gonna be pretty big. Um, 15 structure would look like this, a little down move here, up, down. Again, you'll understand this if you go to the video and watch video 4. All right, so this is our 15-minute range right here, right? So our 15-minute range, where is our 15-minute order block before we broke structure down here on the 15-minute chart? Our last order block sits right here. Okay. You can already see the reaction that we get out of it. Um, so at this point, out of here, I would be bearish. I would be bearish until we blow through it, right? Because this is our structure on the 15-minute is bearish because we're following the way that I like to draw structure. Here, bearish 15-minute order block, last order block in the leg. You can usually count like there's like a series of order blocks. You can count that entire area as well. And I mean, either way, you can see how price digs up into there, but it's always best that you get a tap of every single order block inside of there. But we're just looking at the order blocks that happened before the very last one that preceded the break of structure. So keyword preceded. You can't have a break of structure down and then an order block being, oh, this is responsible. This is not responsible, right? So you must keep that in mind. So I would keep this in mind going into the day, and we will pay attention as well because 15-minute responsibles will be magnets for price. They will be magnets, and if you blow through them, your bias should automatically change to the opposite of what that is saying. So if we open up and we start busting up through here, closing above it, breaking structure, back up, I am long bias, and I'm going to look left on a higher time frame. But okay, where over here is, do we have an unmitigated area that we could have price drive up into? I would be targeting up here, right? As we learned from video 2. So get rid of this. Like I said, we'll get into open, but it's always best to be on the right side of 1 and 5-minute structure as well. But let's go into open here and we'll play it out. So see how price digs right through that responsible, right? Where does it go? It goes down to here. The responsible is not bad until you close through it. Once you close through it, you go right to the rules of video 2, which is same thing. You close through an order block. You look left to where is your next to where is your next untapped order block, and you see we tapped that one. So we would probably go to the swing low here, right? Because everything would be tapped into. So at this point, I would potentially be okay with looking for a long here, and we'll see what happens. And look at that. So it's always the one thing to take out of this is you wait for the close. A close under is what violates it, right? So if you want to set up some kind of lower time frame setup, which I'll go over next in the following videos, kind of some lower time frame setups that I use, going down to the 15-second or such. But you need to know that a close under is the key here. And then wait for confirmation, maybe back up to the upside, and you're going to be targeting what? As soon as you get a rejection, this holds. What are we targeting? Again, back to video 2, order blocks up here, right? And then you got runners to the swing high or whatever. But if you go back to if we're closing above mitigation highs like this, you see we closed above the first high that tapped into this order block. You can almost expect continued upside here. So if you're in a runner, you can try to hold for that swing high. And it's also a good spot where you can maybe go to break even as well if you find an entry down here. But notice, as soon as we blow through there, you knew price was digging down to what? Your lower responsible down here. So none of these are responsibles down here. This is your responsible. So let's play it. We'll see what happens here. Like I said, there's not much in terms of, there's no structure break here, right? As far as, actually there might be. So we had a 1 minute bearish order block put in here, right? So this was a new swing down. We close back above, we go to the high. All right. So we have this, right? So actually, what does this give us? So we have bullish responsible sitting here, and we have this ugly doji candle sitting here. What is this doji candle? It's a rOB. I should have pointed that out first, but it's a rOB. It's a rOB. Why? Because we broke structure down. Ugly, but it's your last order block before the down close candle that broke structure to the downside. So you look for price to hold this area. If it doesn't hold, you use it as order flow. So I'd be looking at this if we close back above the high of this order block, not this swing high. If we close back above the high of this order block, I expect a run to the highs because there's no other reason price is closing above the last order block in the leg. If it doesn't mean we're going to hit this high and then go left and hit something unmitigated over to the left. So we'll run this through and see what happens. But right now we're just sitting between responsible order block and responsible order block. You could have looked for a long here targeting the other responsible order block because we know they are strong draws on price. So we're just kind of chopping. I mean, this is where you just sit patient. This is where I'm sitting patient and I'm waiting for a one-sided give. As soon as one side gives, that's going to be my new lower time frame bias. That's now. All right, so I see us blow through, right? So I see us blow through here, but we have no structures change, right? We're still sitting. We close below here, so my lower time frame is looking bearish here, but we do not get a close below our mitigation low of this order block of the responsible. So right now we're still sitting. What? So right now we came back down to mitigate this, hit this. Obviously, that's hindsight, but we're showing the ROBs and the reactions we get out of here. So if we get a 1 minute order block here, you expect what? A retrace to the order blocks up here, even though it's already mitigated. But so there we go. We do not get a close below. We do not get a close below was your sign. There would have been no entries here because the only entry you would have got is if you got what? If you got a new break of structure to the upside. So you're looking here. If there's no rOB, there's really no trade. Is the best way to look at it because the ROBs are gonna give you the best bang for your buck, the best and the most highest probability setup. So if there's a close, so if we got something like this, boom. Remember, this is not structure. Again, video one. This is your structure still. This is all just internal. We did not get a close. So if we got a close below, we could look to short this order block up here as a responsible order block. But guess what? We did not get a close below. Price wanted to say bullish. So instead, we get a structure break like this. Right? Oh, I knew it was going to do that. So we're looking at this, right? So we have a new break of structure to the upside. Where does our responsible now sit? Down here, right? This is our last order block before we broke structure up to the upside. Doesn't mean we'll get all the way down here. This might just be an instance where you just sit patient and wait. But we'll see what we have on the higher time frame that we could be drawing to. Okay, so this was just our 15-minute responsible. All right, remember that's what's holding price down right now. As well as, let's go look to the far left and see what else we have. So I just want to make sure we're on the side of correct 15-minute. You can see here, this would have been your responsible on the 15-minute going up to the upside here. You see how you at least get like a 50% or some kind of reaction out of there. But as of now, I don't see much in terms of, in terms of downside, you got a 15-minute order block down here and everything's mitigated up here. So if we come back and close back above these highs, I would expect price to continue higher. using ROB as an entry, as long as you are following market structure. Remember, market structure is bullish here. I only want to be looking for longs unless we're running into a higher time frame order block to the left, or we can look for a more aggressive, risky play. But we'll see what happens here. So we're inside of here. We're inside of this order of the ROB here. If we can't really get a 1 minute order block because our 1 minute candle is this big. We'll see if we get a bounce out of it. Looks like we're going to close beneath it. We'll run it one more time. So we got a little close beneath it, and we're still holding it here. Let's see if that means we continue down because of that close under or not. I'll just kind of get choppy here. So it holds. We get a little close below, and you see what happens. Go back to video 2. Price goes back to here. So there are instances like this where I have seen in back testing where we will get a close below it, and then push back down. But what does this make it? What does this make this though? Makes this a bearish breaker structure, right? Because we closed below this low, right? This was our bearish. This was our 1 minute protected low. We closed below it, right? So what do you got here? You got a bearish 1 minute responsible sitting here, and you still see how price slow down, slow down, slow down. But you see, as soon as we close above it, boom, instant distribution. You should know right away. So this is more of a, obviously, I don't know if in real time. Might be one that I shorted. I might have shorted like this 1 minute order block. And like I said, I don't know with context, but I would have known right away. So this is how you can use them in terms of order flow. Obviously, it didn't work out here because we got the close below. But here, you see we get the close above, push to what? As soon as we get the close above here, you should automatically be looking left and be looking at where is your next unmitigated order block, because that is 8 to 9 times out of 10, that's where price is going to be drawn to, and that's going to be this order block right here. So keep that in mind as well. So this is not a bearish 1 minute, but this is the last order block in the leg here. Just kind of stuck in this 5 minute range here. So we're just waiting. We're stuck between one minute structure here, but we know we've been blowing through. You see what happens here. We're just going order block to order block. So I'm 100% convinced this market moves order block to order block, not fair value gap to fair value gap, because you see one order block leads to the other order block. So as long as it's low and hold, I would expect continued upside, especially if we got to close above this. Back to video 2. We expect to run on the highs as long as this low does not get closed beneath. So let's see. All right, so we did get a close above, and we got a false move, a false close over there. Like I said, we're still just stuck in this 1 minute structure, and we'll just wait for structure to break to maybe get an entry in this market. Just a very, very choppy day. Sitting in this same 1 minute structure. Not a lot of good examples, just because you want to wait for a break of structure. Like every morning when we start stream, you want to, we're always waiting for one side to break, and then we're looking for the order block that is with our higher time frame bias. So remember, we don't get a break of structure until we close below this low to the downside. So that is your protected low. And you see it's protected for a reason. Pick pretty much the choppiest day to look at ROBs, but that's okay. We'll go to the next day if we have to. Remember, we don't get a break of structure to the upside until we get a close back above here. So we're just stuck here. We're just stuck. We're just playing order block tag on the highs and on the lows. All right. So going into, obviously, the afternoon, 2 o'clock would give us a move up. This would be irresponsible. The one thing I don't like to do is I don't like to short. I'm not just gonna say, okay, we're here and we got a bearish. We have a ROB down here. I'm not just gonna try to short to it. But if an opportunity and the candles are presenting itself, like we're blowing through these 1 minute order blocks or something of that sort, then we can maybe look for a short. But as of right now, we're blowing through what? We're blowing through our 15-minute responsible, right? From over here. So I would expect a run on these highs and then potentially up to what? These unmitigated order blocks over here. Like I said, I don't want to turn this into more of a price should go here. I want to talk strictly about ROBs. So in terms of market structure, we have no break yet. For our 15-minute, we need to have a close above this high or this low, right? So we'll keep pushing here. We'll see what happens. Go back down to the 1 minute chart. Remember our 1 minute structure. Actually disregard. Let's see. Yeah, so our 1 minute structure close above there. You got to swing down here. So now if we get a close below here, you start to get bearish, and then that's when you can start looking for this order block and down here. But right now, nothing's bearish about this. I'm expecting you would expect price up to those 15-minute order blocks that we just talked about. All right, well, went a little too quick there, but we didn't get a retrace anyway. Look how price comes back for that responsible. We just missed those order blocks, so there might have been something else on like a lower time frame that hit over there. But like I said, we're not talking about draws right now. We're talking strictly responsibles. But 3 o'clock drives us down. So if we're looking at our 1 minute structure, our structure would have came from down here, right? Boom, order block formed from the low up to the high. So our 1 minute structure is bearish here. Bearish, but we know did we get a 15-minute break? That's our question. So we did not get a 15-minute break of structure. Or did we? Actually, we did. So let's go back. Let's look at our 15 structure because it's going to make this order block important. So we had a break of structure here, right? We drew it. It was coming all the way from up here. We got the close above, right? Where did we get the close above? Remember, video 1, important. So you got a 15-minute order block here. Boom, boom, boom. And we would have went down to here. So let's see, 15, 15, 15. So there actually is no 15-minute break of structure here. There is no 15-minute because this is here. That's why it's important to understand structure, guys. So let's go down to our 1 minute. But we can still watch this 15 because we know these order blocks, but they're not responsible or order blocks. So I don't care too much about them in this video. But I do want to pay attention to the 1 minute. So our 1 minute structure, or our 1 minute structure didn't break until here, right? Because we were stuck in this 1 minute range. I'd like to stick to the 1 and the 15-minute structure and use them in confluence with each other. Your best trades are going to come from 1 minute responsibles inside of 15-minute responsibles. Those are going to be your money plays. We actually took one today on stream and we got like an instant 100 points off of combined with a 1 minute breaker. But so would be looking for somewhere in here to hold. If we start really blowing through it, what do? We're looking for our lower order blocks. You see, we already kind of got it there. Right. So what are we at here? We're at 1500. We're starting to get, like I said, we dig a little deeper. I'm assuming there's probably like a 5-minute order block down there. Yeah. So untapped 5-minute down there. That's kind of untapped. But at this point, we're just waiting on structure again, right? We know we got blown through here because the 5-minute, because there's a 5-minute below us that price came down into. A nice little 5 minutes, all this consolidation here that price came back down into. At this point, we're looking pretty bullish. Like I said, I don't want to turn this into, but I would expect price maybe back up inside of here or inside of the breaker. Yeah, we'll just wait for a price to do its thing. But we'll go to the next day. And we'll see what happens here. All right. So if I'm looking at this from a structure standpoint, looks like I just want to get a basic understanding before open here. Try to stick away from the 15 here, but looks like we would have got a break up here. Boom, boom. 1 minute order block takes us up, close below. We don't get a break of structure until we close above here. We close above, but we don't get a 1 minute order block, so there's no bearish move there yet. All right, we close above, little 1 minute order block, boom. All right, so we're bearish going into open. Let's see if there's any good responsible taps here. All I see is before we broke up, this would have been your responsible. Right, you got to close above, a retap of it, boom. All right, this is not a break of structure to the downside here. This is just a swing down. And then you see what? You have your last bullish order block, your bullish order block sitting here. After we got the close above, you see we just ran through it right here. Because what? You have too many, you have a 1, 2, 3 swings up, 4 swings up. Remember, after 4, we kind of talked about this in video 2. After 4 plus swings, you want to be careful because a lot of times we'll get these fake swing downs, these fake swings that are down or up, and then we can continue the other way, or that's where we get a bigger pullback on, which leads to your higher time frame pullbacks. You know, to your 50% or things of that nature. So we'll play it on open here. So which means what? We had a 1 minute break of structure going into open, making this what? Making this our bearish responsible order block. So there's no tap of it yet. Let's play and see what happens. And see, we kind of come back into this the responsible here. Hopefully not another choppy session. All right, so if I was bearish in price supporting structure, as long as price would not close, well, no, that this high would not matter because it didn't tap into any order block. But you see, this is our responsible here. So if we're bearish, we can look for a lower time frame setup, or if you're bearish like on the higher time frame and you're looking to get in short, this is where you want to see price. This is where you want to start entering price because your responsibles are also going to line up with your discounts and your premiums, which is where we want to be entering the market anyway. Like I said, we'll go over entries more precisely in the next video, though. But all right, so we close above, which means what? We possibly have a fake break of structure to the downside here. So this would be our move down. We get a move up. So automatically, if we're in stream, we're already looking at what? We're already looking at this guy. Obviously, it's pretty big, so not gonna be just long in it. Maybe look for a lower time frame entry. But I would look for price, assuming we had a draw or a reason to go higher on the 15 to the left here. So let's just go like to the hourly and see what's up there. You know, we're in this range. Don't see much else not mitigated. So I see an hourly doji sitting up here. That could be a target. Maybe potentially get into a long position with what you got. Devil's Mark inside of here would be also what I just talked about. It would be discount where we want to go long. You see, we get tap of it there, and we deliver up to these. I don't know what that was. 10 o'clock. It might have been 10 o'clock news. But notice, obviously, you're not going to hold through. I mean, it's whatever. But the big thing to take from that is there's no candle close below. I know looks like a lot of points, but I guess it's only like 40. Which, if you're watching this in early April, with the Trump tariff candles, 40 points is really nothing. But we'll see if we get a close back above. We do not get a close back above. So notice that we do not get a close back above. If we get a close back above, you could look for another entry if you missed the first move. But obviously that's not the case here, and we'll look to see if we break structure back to the downside. Remember, structure wouldn't be under this low; it's under your last protected low, which is here. Protected meaning you should not get closed below. If it's closed below, then you start to get bearish. So all we do is come back down, test the bottom of it. Did we close below it? We did not close below it. So that's how we did not close below it. You'll see this a lot. Like I said, like we seen yesterday, we got to just below it, and then we retrace. So you got to give a little room for error in there, which we know markets are not always going to be 100%. So we got to move up here. Where's our new responsible sit? Our new responsible sits here. Remember, your rOB is just the order block right before you broke structure to the upside. So you got to pull back here, which obviously will probably just go from the lowest low, and then we go up to the high, depending on where we go, with our draw being up to that 902 level. So the only way I would be looking to enter is if we get a move back down inside of here. Otherwise, we're not chasing price. And there's your move up to your hourly unmitigated order block. And you see we're starting to we close above it, which tells us what? This order block's already mitigated. This order block's already mitigated. I would be targeting this hourly swing high up there at that 980 level, personally. But we'll see if we can find any way to get into this market. Notice we don't even get a pullback with a bearish 1 minute that we can like draw structure down up. So there we might get one. Let's see here. Oh, all right. So it moves up to here, right? And now we get a pullback. We get a pullback until we either close back above this high. Let's see what happens. Now we don't get anything bearish to the downside until we close back below would be this that I'm assuming a data candle low there. All right, so now we'll break back up, making what? Making these little candles down here your area responsible for potential long, right? Because you broke structure back to the upside. I don't know if we get a move back down, but there's your untapped. There's your hourly swing high. What told us that? Video two with mitigation. You're blowing through this hourly high. You go up to this hourly. You blow through it. You do not see any resistance at this hourly. You end up closing through it. So you just keep following it up. Remember, since this order block here was already mitigated, price isn't coming back up here to re-mitigate these bearish order blocks, right? This is mitigated. This is mitigated. So we're assuming we would run up to this swing high. I guess we didn't get there yet, but I would expect us to. And there's your swing high. So that is just one way you can enter. But now that we've taken that swing high, we could potentially look for some kind of short, right? Might be a little more risky, but we need to pay attention to where our rOBs are now. So our structure was, let's see, let's go back to our structure here. So all this was just internal, right? It's all internal because you're not drawing up and down inside of this range. I just want to go back and see if there's any rOB entries that we can go over. I would say this is a pullback. Valid pullback. Actually, we would go up to, go up to here. Looks like we got to close above. Boom, boom. Bear with me here. This is why it's so important to understand structure again. Boom, a little pullback. Boom. So you can see where our break structure happens here. So basically, we just go up to here and then down, right? We just broke structure to the downside, making this our responsible or rOB. This was before we broke structure up. We need to be looking at I just want to look at our bearish ones. I would not be longing up this high after so many breakups. But I just want to go back and look at other ones here. Let's see. So we had this one here before breaking up. You see it ran through. We run a little lower. That one just didn't work. But then again, you got to take into account swing counts. I'm not using it as an excuse, but you cannot be longing after like 4 swings up. You will start to see, you'll see 1 swing up, 2 swing up, 3 swing up, 4 swing up, 5 swing up, and then you got to move down here. So got to be careful because then you had one swing up, two swing up, three swings up. So you only had three swings. I only had like it was like so your count basically resets after that. So it was your first swing back up. So I would just say it just didn't work there uh, as well. Which I mean, you're gonna have that, but you'll see if you backtest this 8 to 9 times, it's gonna hold or give you some kind of reaction. So we'll keep playing it along here. See if we get a push up to that responsible. All right, so we push through it. You would expect what? I would expect the swing high to go. Swing highs go. Uh, that's why it's almost important that you find some lower time frame entry to give you a little more confirmation. It's just a little more risky taking this as well. This is where you got to take into account, your higher time frame as well. So that pullback there was into a 15-minute. So there's no way in that kind of bullish structure would I be shorting into a 15-minute bullish order block when price is this bullish. So you have to just always be looking at everything in context. I'm just trying to point out and show you guys where the responsible order blocks are in the reaction, show you guys the reactions that we get off of them. But as of now, we're just sitting here. I don't know if I would really count that little guy, but you see this one holds. Let's go above here. Let's watch this one. Now we're starting to get a little high up here, of course, but we'll see if this one holds. If we get a pullback, you see you get a little tap into it, price expands. There's still no break above, right? To get a new break above, we would need to close above this high right here. All right, so we get a close above, and this is where prices really starts to slow down. We start to get very, very high, and you have to be careful along this high. But this would be your responsible. So we'll see if it holds. If it'll let me draw here. There we go. And we'll see if it holds. If it doesn't hold, where should we expect price to go? Probably the swing low down here, because everything else is mitigated, unless you got like a 5-minute order block or something of that sort sitting inside of here. Not really. So we'll see what happens here if this doesn't hold. If it holds, we obviously just look left and see, okay, where do we expect price to go to? So you see we don't close below it. Obviously, you get a pretty nasty wick down there, but important to pay attention to the close, and then you end up taking a new swing high as well. So, and then so we're at 330 here. So it looks like our structure would have been basically from here to here, starting to get a little messy. This is where we went from that swing low up to there. So let's go to the next day because we're pretty much at close here, and we'll go through this day quick. All right, so if I'm looking at structure here, what do I see? Let's see. Looks like you would have a potential move up here to go lower. No break there. You got to move down here. Boom. Going from here. Break down. Looks like a news candle potentially. Yeah, 8:30. Yeah, that makes sense. We go up to here. Boom. And then you're just sitting basically in this 1-minute range until open. And then obviously we're at open here. So we'll see. We'll wait. We're waiting for either this high to break or the other high. And now we can look to short a potential responsible, which our responsible sits here. A thing to note: if an order block is tapped, if a responsible, so we already got the tap of the responsible here. But if we get like an order block, if this becomes an order block before it becomes a responsible and it gets mitigated, it still needs to be mitigated as a responsible. So just because it's already mitigated here, I expect another retrace to it, which obviously we already got it here because it became a responsible on this candle close. So we got that candle close there, and you see we got to tap into it. So we'll see if we get any kind of structure break to do the downside. And this is where you're just looking at, this is where I would pull up like the 15-minute chart and be like, okay, pretty bearish move. Where can I see price going to? Everything's tapped into. Remember, this was the 15-minute from yesterday. Everything's tapped into. So is there like an hourly potentially? There's no hourly. What a pretty bullish move. Is there a 5-minute? All the 5 minutes seem to be mitigated. All the 5 minutes really are mitigated besides this 5 minute here. So this would be an area that I would be targeting with a potential break of structure down here. That's the wrong key. No wonder why it's not working. So there's that. So then we can go back down to the 1 minute, but we know we can be targeting that 18.99 level, potentially maybe with a reentry out of here. But we already got the tap, so let's see if we can get. All right, so there's a tap of it. All right, and then you see, obviously, we slowed down a lot. We slowed down a lot there, but we already got the tap, delivered new low, as well. So let's see if we get any kind of break of structure to the upside here. So we go from the highest high, boom, right? This is your structure here. You're still in this 1 minute structure, with this being your responsible. So obviously we're closing above it. We expect what? You start closing above it, you look left. Where's your next unmitigated order blocks? Over here. That's where you expect price to draw to. So now we'll just keep playing it along. Wait till we get a break up or a break down. Otherwise, you're sitting in chop, and that's where retail accounts go to die. No, no breaks down. All right, so we got to break down there, right? Finally got to break down out of here, right? And we're still targeting this 18.99 level. So where does our responsible sit? Basically this accumulation area right up here. So I'll just include both. Would like to see both tapped into, and then you can look for some kind of short position like this. Close would just be above it, and then your first target would be what? Would be these unmitigated order blocks. It's assuming we get up there anyway in the first place, and you're targeting the 18.99 lows down there. Do we get a tap? So we get a tap of it. So as soon as you get a tap of it, remember your stop's just basically a close above it. Did not mean it to do that, but remember, you're at least looking for what? You're at least looking for mitigation on the first lows down here. Looks like. Remember we were talking about this order block, but it looks like we just got that tap. So you should at least see, down here. Maybe you go to break even here. Like I said, we'll talk about this more in the execution video. But you're looking for reactions out of the order blocks that drive your break of structure. You must understand structure first to understand where and what a rOB is. So we see price still holding. We're just getting choppy, and then we get into the 4 o'clock. So you don't get down here, but you know that you'd probably be at break even or something there off of your final order block of the leg. Now, if you started getting a close below what your mitigation lows right here from video 2, you would expect price to go down further because everything's already mitigated here. Why you guys must watch videos 1 and 2 first. I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. But I do want to see if this ends up delivering down or not. I'm going to say up. Yeah. Pretty choppy Asia. All right, we'll look at one more day here quick. Oh man, okay. Looks like a CPI day. Oh, it's a Friday. It's definitely an NFP day. Yeah, first Friday of June. Let's go look at. All right, so our structure is going to be basically from here to here. All right, we get a close above. Yeah. All right, so we get a close above, but we're already we're so far ahead already that we'll just go to the next day because I don't want to play around in that structure. I want to show you guys good clean structure. But on days like that, that's where you just got to be careful and just know your structure and just be patient. Yes, you can go down to a smaller time frame, like even the 1 minute. You can play like your internal structure. You just it takes some experience. But let's go here. So drawing this, I would say this would have been a breakup. Down, move up, down, move up. I don't know if we got to close above there or not. I say boom to boom. We got to close below here with a 1 minute order block to the upside. You guys get quick with this as well, I promise. I don't know if there's a close here or not, but all right. And then you get to move up. All right. So your structure is bullish here. Your structure is bullish here with what? So you can already see it. This was your it's basically these order blocks right here where you're responsible. But the first one hasn't been tapped yet. So last order block before the break of structure up. And you see price hold that order block right there, delivering up to what? The order blocks up here. Let's go to a little lower time frame here. And you break up here with what? With this being your new responsible order block sitting here. So you can look for a retrace into here. Obviously, we're breaking structure up here. So we can hold 50, but I'm going to be picking, I'm going to wait for my OTE entry and whatnot sitting down here. Is assuming that we have a target above, right? We already hit this. We closed above. I would expect these swing highs to go. So I would be bullish for these swing highs. Why? Because everything's mitigated to the left here. So there's no other reason we shouldn't be going up higher. Probably up to, you can kind of see this untapped order block up here. So it makes sense to take those highs and run into that higher order block. So we run into both of them. We just don't get an entry, but you see what happens here, right? You can see a little breakdown because you got a 1 minute bearish order block. Boom. What sits here? Your responsible order block, your last order block before you broke structure to the upside. So what does this turn into? This turns into your new responsible order block. We'll see if price holds it, and price holds it, and then there we go. So this is where you just keep looking left. I see a whole slew of order blocks up here. So if I'm seeing price do stuff like that, that's gonna be my ultimate target for the day up to that 114 level. Obviously, expecting some kind of pullback at some point, maybe a fake break of structure down, but we can get like something like this. Boom, boom, boom. There's no 1 minute bearish order block here, so our structure is just until we get something bearish. So we do get a little pullback there. And we'll wait until we get a break back above, and there's your break above. So this is our pullback right here. Meaning what? Meaning this little guy right here is going to be your responsible. Just got to keep in mind, going back to how many times we broke up now. You broke up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the sixth breakup. I would not hold any weight to this guy holding. Can it? Sure. I would much rather see a fake breakdown and then a new break of structure to the upside. I would not trust this because it's just been so many highs, So you just got to you just have to be aware of that. And if the price goes without you, price goes without you. So let's see here. Let's continue our structure. Boom. There's no close above here. So here, making, looks like this little doji would have been your responsible. Like I said, once you start to get so high, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. We'll see if we get a breakdown. I wouldn't expect much here. I would expect us to hit those highs, but we can absolutely get a fake breakdown before hitting those highs. We see we just wick those lows. We can wick those lows. It's not a break of structure down. We wick them, boom, right up to our target. So I would love to see some kind of breakdown here so we can see an example from a down move, but we'll see here. So basically, I would just consider basically this whole area. Obviously, this little doji, this little guy. We'll just say this whole area would be irresponsible. But then again, we're still so bullish that this doesn't have to hold. You see how we start to get choppy there. We still have not broken structure down. We're still in this 1 minute range. All right, so we break structure down there. We don't get a retrace to the responsible here. So let's just continue our structure. Break down here, right? Break down, we get a bullish 1 minute, we get a new move back down. This is where we start looking left, right? We start looking left and being like, okay, where's our unmitigated order blocks? Well, basically had one here. So we know price can bounce. This one's barely tapped into, so I could see us moving back down lower. So we could get a potential short out of here. So we'll see if price just back to this, guys. Draw your structure and draw your order blocks before break, and you will be amazed at how many times these things hold and support price. And if we blow through them, it tells you where else to look. Just to look left, maybe you can find like some kind of other entry model that targets, that next order block based on basically inversing that responsible order block. So we don't even get up to there. We break back down. There's really no order block in here. And then we break back down. Obviously, like I wouldn't really consider this was like this like the response, but I want to see it in like the leg that moved it down. And then you see as soon as we blow through there and get close above there, you would automatically like in live time, I would automatically be like, okay, well, I know this order block's next. This order block was already tapped into. If this one doesn't if this one doesn't stop price, I would expect the swing highs. But that's how you can use them as order flow or entries. But with that, this will be video one of two videos for the rOBs. Hopefully, you guys take something out of this. Really passionate about this. It's been very, very good for all of us in the jungle. So with that, hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next time.